Okay, hello PELWELL family, and welcome to Restore and Rewind. We have a lot of stretches and restorative movements we're going to do today. So you do need a foam roller. You're also going to need a strap, and if you don't have one, a belt or something woven will work just fine, maybe a towel even, and a set of yoga bricks. But we are actually going to start with our strap. So if your other stuff is in the way, just put it off to the side for now. Go ahead and meet me on your back with strap in hand. Make sure you have enough space to move the legs laterally. So I'm actually going to come at an angle so my legs don't hit the wall. And then we're going to take that strap and wrap it around the ball of the right foot. And your left leg can be straight or slightly bent depending on how it feels in your hips. So we're going to take the strap in both hands and just start with that straight leg, pulling the leg closer and closer to lining up over the chest until you feel that stretch in the calves and in the hamstring, which after yesterday's deadlift and swing should feel pretty good. Keep driving through the heel, pulling the toes towards the shin bone so you feel that big stretch. If your left leg is super bent, just straighten it out enough that when we go to cross the right leg over the left, you have space. Take the strap into the left hand, ground the right hand onto the floor, and let the left leg start to fall across the body with control. And then once it's across the body, pull the leg again closer to being aligned with the chest. So you feel that big stretch in the hamstring to the outside of the glute. Make sure you're breathing deeply through each stretch. We're going to bend the knee, bring it back through center. So we're going to gently roll onto the left hip. So I have the strap on my right foot. If you happen to have the strap on the left foot, just do everything the opposite. But we're going to roll onto that left hip. And then we're going to pull the leg again up over that chest, pressing through the heel, pulling the toes towards the shin, starting to stretch to the hamstring and into that inner thigh. Make sure you're really pulling into that strap and then pushing the foot into it. So you've got lots of tension, a very active stretch. Stay for a couple more breaths. And then we're going to bend the leg. We're going to bring the hips back in line and then kick the foot out towards the front. And then again, pull it so it's in line with the chest. Last big stretch here for that hamstring. Notice if the foot's falling towards the floor. Try to keep it in line with the hip. Stay with your breath. And then bend the knees, slowly release, and come back onto your back as we switch sides. So taking the middle of the strap around the ball of the left foot, extending that leg up, taking the strap in both hands, starting to pull the leg over the chest, pressing through that heel, and then extending your right leg out long. Take a moment, just let the hamstring start to stretch out. Nice deep stretch, bring up that back fat leg. Take both strap ends into the right hand, left hand ground to the earth. Let the leg fall across the body until you feel that big stretch to the outside of that left hip. Keeping the leg closer to being aligned with the chest, so if it starts to drift back towards the right foot, pull it up closer towards the chest. Put a soft bend in that knee. We're going to roll all the way onto the right hip and then bring that leg right above the chest, driving through the heel. Straight leg. Trying to stack the hips one on top of the other. And then just let that leg fall towards that right side, pressing through that heel. Again, if the foot's falling towards the floor, try to keep it in line with the hip. And keep pulling the toes to the shin, pressing the heel away. And then bend the knee nice and soft. Set the strap off to the side. And then we're going to come all the way up to standing and grab both of your bricks. So we're going to take a nice deep calf stretch. So go ahead and take one brick on its lowest setting And we're gonna place the ball of the foot on the edge, so the heel of your foot should still be on the floor. So if it's so much that the heel is lifting, you're gonna kind of let that brick, notice how it kind of wedges up off the floor, so it's not actually grounded. But the ball of my foot is pushing into that brick and my heel is on the floor. We're gonna take the second brick on the high setting to the other edge, and then you're just gently gonna use that to push the brick back to the floor. So that might be enough, you might already feel the calf. But if you need to go further, start to lean your upper body over that extended brick until you feel a huge stretch running up that calf and that hamstring. Not letting the heel lift up, keep pressing the heel towards the earth. Really push all your weight into these bricks. Stay with your breath. We're going to press the ball of the foot to let the heel lift and then press up and release. So switching to the other side, so the ball of the foot finds the edge of that brick, heel touches the floor. Use your other brick on the high setting to push the brick firmly into the ground, and then start to lean your weight forward without letting the heel lift up. Nice job, stay breathing. Go ahead and lift the heel off the floor and then lift yourself all the way up. Set both bricks about shoulders distance apart on their lowest setting. We're going to step to the front. We're going to place our heels this time on the brick. Ball of the foot stays on the floor. And then we're going to sit all the way down so that our hips are sitting towards the heels. Bringing your elbows to the inside of the knees and then start to press into those insides of the knees until you feel the hips stretching out. Yeah. Keep your spine nice and long, crown of the head reaching up. The more you can push into those legs, the wider the knees go, the deeper the stretch will be. But stay within your range of motion. If going out too far is too much on the hips, you can always come back in. But bring the palms together and press, press, press. Really put tension and pressure, pushing those knees apart. Focusing on opening in the hips right where it meets the leg. Keep breathing. And then slowly release hands to the earth, lift yourself back up and step off the bricks. Go ahead and take both bricks and come all the way to the seated position. We're going to sit with one leg in front of the other. Whatever leg is to the front, so for me, my right leg is to the front, my bricks are going to go to the right side. So one brick on its lowest setting, and then another brick on its highest setting, kind of right next to your femur bone. You're going to take the right hand and rest it on the elbow like a little head support. Inhale, reach your left arm up, and then let the elbow crease find the crown of the head, and then let the arm just kind of drape across. Make sure we're not like holding the arm up here with muscular engagement, but we're letting it relax. You want to stay grounded through the left leg and hip because we're focusing on stretching through the side body. So if it's not enough this direction, you can always opt to lower your brick on a different setting if you want to go even deeper into the side body stretch. Just notice if the left side body starts to lift up, we've gone a little too far, and to just digress. So we find that grounding through the lower body first. Big side body stretch. And then slowly release. Switch which legs to the front, which one's to the back. And then take your bricks to the other side. We'll do the same on the other side. Elbow to the bricks. Let the head fall onto the hand. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Let the elbow crease find the head, and then let the arm just kind of wrap around the crown of the head. Notice if your chest is closing to the floor We want to keep opening the chest, and we're stacking the shoulders one on top of the other. So it's a pretty deep side body stretch. You should feel it all through the rib cage, running up that side body. Slowly release. Go ahead and set both of your bricks on their highest setting to the top of the mat, about shoulder distance apart, and then bring your body into tabletop or all fours position. So bringing the hands about one hand breadth behind the bricks and coming into your tabletop. We're going to leave the legs where they are, but we're going to reach the arms forward, bringing the elbows to the center of the bricks. So we're going to be a little extended, but we need this space because we're going to start to sit back. So bring the hands together, keep the bottom half where it is, and start to let the head fall between the arms. And then bring the hands towards the nape of the neck, and then rotate so the fingers are actually pointing down the spine. So you feel a nice deep stretch to the triceps and through the chest. So once we're sitting back, our hips should be stacked over the knees. So if you're sitting on the heels like a child's pose, maybe find some readjustment so we can keep those hips over the knees. If your shoulders and chest are really tight, this can be intense, so stay with your breath. And release the hands first, lift the head back through, and then walk the hands on top of the bricks. So leave the hands where they are. We're going to take the knees back about 6 inches. And then we're going to sit the hips back towards the heels as we leave the arms long and let the head fall past the biceps again. So now the arms are long and straight. Hands are firmly pressing into the top of the brick. Make sure we're not pulling the bricks back so they're not lifting off the floor. They should stay grounded. Weight is evenly pressing between all 4 corners and palms. And we're feeling the stretch now through the tops of the shoulders and the upper back. Tuck the chin to the chest, round the spine slowly, slowly. Start to come back out of it. Walk the knees forward. We're going to set up for hack saddle. So we did this Monday after bar with the band assist, but we don't have the band. So we might want to use the brick, something behind us, just to lower our forearms too. But go ahead and leave your left knee bent, and we'll extend the right leg straight out in front of us. From there, we're going to take the hands as an assist so we can sit to the inside of this left leg. So my shin bone is still grounded on the floor, my knee is still grounded on the floor, right leg is straight to the floor. If you don't need the bricks, you can set them off to the side. But if you feel like you're going to want to lower onto something, maybe have them behind the forearms. Take the hands behind you, fingertips facing the body, and then slowly, slowly just start to lean into those forearms. Make sure we're keeping that left knee grounded. So if you notice that knee starts to pop up, maybe the left forearm doesn't find the earth, but we're just trying to work it closer and closer towards the floor. The chest starts to open towards the sky. So we feel that big stretch coming through that quadricep. Slowly come back in the same way you got into it. We're going to take those hands to frame the foot. Lift yourself back up so you're sitting on that heel. We're going to sweep the right leg around. Scooch your hips so we're sitting on the right heel, and then extend your left leg out. Use your hands as an assist to bump the hips right next to that right foot. Walk the hands back either onto the floor or onto the brick, opening your chest to the sky, and then stretching deeply through that quadricep and through that hip. slowly, slowly start to walk yourself back up. Go ahead and lift yourself up to sit onto that heel. And this time we're going to sweep the left leg back around, coming back through all fours. From here, we're going to take a cat-cow, so let the belly drop. Feel that back bend. We're going to stay here. So I know I've got a huge sweatshirt on, it's really cold, so it's hard to see. But we're letting this belly button fall towards the floor, and we're letting this low back release. So we feel that back bend through the low back. We're grounded through the hands, through the knees, through the shins, the tops of the feet. Gaze is forward towards the wall in front of you, and just breathe. On the exhale, we're going to start to tuck the chin towards the chest, pull the belly button up and in all the way to the spine as we round. And then we're going to stay in cat. So we're pressing the floor away through the hands, so we have a big rounding of the upper back, rounding through the mid back. Belly button is pulling up towards the spine. Take another deep breath here. And then slowly release, coming back through tabletop. Stay where you are. I'm just going to turn so I'm facing more towards the camera. We're going to extend your right leg out so the arch of the foot still lines up with that left knee. And then we're just gently going to rock the weight forward and back, finding some mobility through the hips. Just a couple forward and back, forward and back. And then we're going to rotate the right foot all the way. So the heel is towards the left knee and the toes are facing away from you. Bring a brick to the inside of the right foot, either on the mid setting or the high setting. And then we're going to place the right hand on that brick as we start to bring the right knee to line up over the ankle. So we're leaning the weight towards the right side. Left arm is kind of just hanging out in space. And we're going to move through the shoulder, big circles all the way around. Now imagine your arm is in between two panes of glass. So if, I'll rotate this way so you can see, if we're having to like take the arm out here to find that circle, can we try to keep it in that same plane throughout the whole circle, forward and back? So we're really focusing on opening and mobilizing through that shoulder socket. So keep it as close to the body the whole time that you can. One more here. And then we're going to reverse it. So pinky leading up towards the sky, rotate from the shoulder socket, then lower it back down. Keep that arm close, close, close to the body. And then release, come back through tabletop, release your right leg. Extend your left leg out to the side, arch the foot in line with the right knee. And then gently just shift the weight back a couple of times. Slowly coming back through center. Rotate that left foot off so the heel is towards the right knee, toes are towards the left side of the room. Bring the brick to the inside of that foot. Left hand comes to brick, left knee stacks over that left ankle. Right arm comes underneath the shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in, thumb leads up towards the ceiling. Keep the arm in line with your shoulder, with your body, slowly moving in this circle. Just notice if the arm is coming way out to the side to find that circle. And that's okay if that's your shoulder mobility, but notice if that's what needs to happen or if it's just what's happening to be more comfortable. Holding at the bottom, we'll switch directions. Now pinky leads up. Rotate at the top. And then slowly release, come back through tabletop and release all the way. Nice job. The shoulders are really tight, maybe shake them out a couple times. Go ahead and set your bricks off to the side. Go ahead and grab your strap. We're gonna grab a few inches wider than hips distance on both sides. Take a nice deep inhale, reach it overhead, and then pull, pull, pull. We're gonna let the right arm pull us towards the right, but the left arm is still fighting. So we're not like losing this battle tug of war. It's an even weight. Head stays between. Feel that side body stretch, that left shoulder opening. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale back through center. This time, let the body fall to the left, but keep the pull even between the left and right hand. Side body stretch to the right and then to the shoulder. Come back through center one more time each time. Keep the head between the arms. Inhale back up, exhale over other side. Slowly release. We're going to let the hands come behind us, line up with the shoulder blades, and then hold and just breathe through this chest opener. So if you're not feeling it through the chest, your grip might be too wide, walk the hands closer to one another until you feel that opening to the chest and the front body. Make sure you're not popping that rib cage open. Pull the abdominals in. Breathe through. All we're gonna do is rotate right arm up, left arm down, bend the right arm, walk your left hand up the strap, I lost mine, and come into a tricep stretch. So right elbow shooting up towards the sky, left arm is adding, pulling on that strap to give the resistance. Core is still strong and brave. And then we're going to slide the hands back out on the straps, come back through and transition to the other side. Bending the left arm, walking the right hand up the strap. And then pulling the strap down to deepen that tricep stretch on the left. And then slowly release. And go ahead and set your strap off to the side. Grabbing your foam roller, we're going to place it between the shoulder blades. So the very tip of that foam roller finds the bottom of the shoulder blade, so avoid the rib cage. And then we're going to lower down so the back of the head is supported as well. From here, we're going to extend the arms out from the shoulder like a T. And then just keep the knees bent, feet flat on the earth. We're just letting the chest decompress and open up. So allow the shoulders to soften and start to wrap around the shoulder. Foam roller. Make sure the head is supported. So if we're too far into the rib cage, we won't find space for the head. So make sure we're just on the shoulder blades. Make sure the arms are in line with the shoulders so we feel this opening to the chest, through the front body. Take your feet about mat's distance apart and then knock your knees together. We're gonna reach the arms and kind of just give ourselves a big hug and gently rock side to side. So again, if you're in the rib cage, this won't feel good. So make sure we're just on those shoulders. Slowly, slowly rocking yourself back through center, releasing the arm. We're gonna just roll off to one side, reach back, grab the foam roller, pull it all the way out, and then we're gonna take it and slide it underneath our low back, so right above the tailbone. Hold on to it so it doesn't roll away as we bring the knees to the chest. And then let it should stay in place like a little wedge beneath the body. And then extend your legs up towards the sky. And we can leave the legs extended above the hip, or you can let them fall off in opposite directions if you want to feel a little bit more inner thigh stretch. So really just whatever your body needs today, straight legs, or let them fall off to the side. side. Don't bring them back together. Bend the knees soft. We're going to let the feet find the floor. Leave everything as it is though. And then once the feet find the floor, extend the legs out long. Make sure the feet are flexed so we have a nice flat foot. And then if it's available to you, let your arms fall overhead. And then let the hips really open up as we keep them propped up on this roller. Slowly walk the hands in, and we're going to transition onto the glutes. So bend the knees, feet flat onto the earth. We're going to press up through the hips, slide the roller down just so it's like right underneath your tush. And then we're going to roll onto one side, press ourselves up, land on the forearm. Keep your hips kind of open towards the side, and then we're going to transition into foam rolling. So staying onto one glute, we're just going to roll through that muscle, so it's maybe like 3 to 6 inches up and down. Really focusing on releasing all the stuff that gets trapped in the fascial tissue, causing us to have that soreness, that pain. If you want to add more, you can always take the other leg, ankle to knee, and that just puts a little bit more body weight into it, because you need a little extra. My tush is very sore after all this deadlift, so I'm not adding my leg into it. But if you need that, feel free to add that. You may have a spot specifically that feels a little more tender, so I'm going to invite you to find that spot, hold, and breathe, allowing it just to decompress in this resistance. Stay with it. You're almost there. Bring the other hand up. We're going to sit all the way up onto the foam roller. We're going to scooch onto the other hip and then lower onto that forearm, coming into the other side. So exact same thing we just did, but now we're on the other glute. So make sure you're not on like the hip bone. We're not like laying on our side, but we're on the actual muscle of the glute. And then I invite you to find that spot that's a little extra tender and hold and breathe. And then slowly press yourself up and have a seat off that foam roller. So now we're going to move into the hamstring. So we can stay on the same leg we were just on. We're going to place it right above the knee. The other leg, the foot is going to stay on the floor, bent knee. We're going to press with the hands and that foot to lift your tush off the floor, and then roll from the hip right above the knee, getting the whole hamstring. So if you want to, you can always level up. So putting more body weight into it, you can stack the other foot and take away one of your points of contact on the floor, which will just help you get more and more weight into that foam roller, which just deepens the effect. But if that's a little too much, you can always digress back. Start to rotate the foot in different directions to hit different parts of the hamstring. Slowly release, changing sides, so take it right above the knee, bend the opposite leg, press the hands, press the foot, lift your hips, and then roll through the other side. And then gently just starting to move the foot in different directions. And slowly release. We're going to take the foam roller, glide it down towards right above the ankle. And then we're going to do that same thing, but we're going to keep the other foot on the floor, lift the hips. We're just going to roll through that calf. So if this is really tender, I want you to stay here and just keep doing it on the foam roller. But if you feel like you can go deeper, we're actually going to use our other leg as a prop. So join me in tabletop. We're going to stay on the left leg. Right leg shin bone is going to find the left calf. And we're going to glide the shin bone down that calf with putting as much intensity as we can until we find almost the Achilles. And then lift the leg back up, start at the top, and glide it down again. So this is much more intense than the foam roller. So if the foam roller is not enough, then we can do it this way. But if you need more, if the foam roller is enough, like you have really tight shins, then just stay with the foam roller. The next time you glide the leg down, you come out midway down the shin, hold. And we're just going to sit the hips back and forward, putting more and more body weight into that shin, pushing into the calf. If you're on the foam roller, find your extra sensitive spot in the calf and just hold and breathe. If you're on the tabletop with me, we're going to bring the knee into that calf and then just move in little circles. So wherever it's extra tender. So for me, it's like a little bit down the shin. It's not right in the center, but it's like almost where my shin and ankle tendons come together. So wherever it feels the most tender, that's where we really want to decompress and target. So again, we're doing this on the foam roller or using our own body as the props, depending on how intense you want to go with this. Stay with it, breathe through it. I know that shins can get really tight, ankle tendons can get really tight, so this can be intense. Last 3, 2, and release. So if you want to go back to the foam roller for the other leg, feel free, or we're going to just stay in tabletop. If you're on the foam roller, we're just going to switch legs and then start with the roll. If we're doing it in tabletop, your shin bone finds the top of the calf, and then you push as you glide your leg down the calf. So you're kind of in charge of how much resistance is here, but really push as much weight into it as you can. So we really want this muscle to decompress and to let go. We do so much in the calves. All of our cardio exercises, squats, deadlifts, these little muscles are working so hard. You run, you get shin splints, all that stuff stems from these tight muscles. If you're on the foam roller, you're going to hold your sensitive spot. Breathe. If you're in tabletop, we're going to hold that sensitive spot and gently rock back and forth. This should not feel comfortable. So this definitely is a pretty uncomfortable, intense thing to do. So if you're like, oh, this hurts so bad, I can't do this, it's okay, you're in good company. Foam rolling is very much like a deep tissue massage. You're feeling it while you're getting it done, but the benefits afterwards are so great. And then slowly release. If you're on the foam roller, you're just gently going to wiggle side to side. If you're in tabletop, knee to wherever you need it and moving in a circle. Stay with it, breathe. Last 3, 2, and release. Ooh, that's a lot of love on those calves. All right, we're gonna transition into quadriceps. So back to the foam roller. We're gonna take it above the knee and come onto our forearms like we're going into a forearm plank. Other leg can make a frog shape, and we can just roll through one leg. Or if you always want to go deeper, you can again always stack that leg. My quadriceps are screaming, so that's not an option for me right now. But if you need more body weight, stack the opposite leg on top and put more and more body weight into the foam roller. Maybe you didn't even realize your quads were really sore until you pushed it onto this foam roller and now it's screaming at you. And just like we did with the hamstrings, just start to move the foot in different directions to hit different parts. Come to about the center. If you stacked your free leg, go ahead and release it back to the floor. And all we're gonna do is curl and extend. So as we curl, you'll feel it get really, really, really intense because we're pushing more and more weight into that foam roller. Make sure you're not being lazy through the core, and we start to feel this in the low back. Keep pulling your belly button towards the spine. Stay really strong and braced. Last two here. Last one here. And then slowly release. And we'll transition to the other leg. So slide that foam roller to the other side. Release the other leg or stack it if you want to go a little deeper. And then we find that roll forward and back. And you might have just one part of this muscle that's really extra sensitive. So find that spot that really needs it and stay on that for your rolling. Some people it's right above the knee, some people it's closer to the hip, or maybe right dab in the middle. And then hold, and then if you have that leg stacked, the other leg stacked, release, and then come into your hamstring curls. Feeling the intensity as we curl, and that leg really pushes into that foam roller. So even though this is not very comfortable, this is what it takes to release all the trauma we put in the body from weightlifting. When we lift heavy weights and we jump around, we're actually tearing the fascia into pieces, allowing the muscle to have room to grow and to repair. That's how it gets stronger. But it's like surgery on the body almost, in as far as how much trauma it causes the body. So it's really, really important to make time to restore, to repair, and to love our body. Imagine going through constant surgeries and never, ever, ever taking time to heal. You get knee surgery and the next day you're jumping on your knee. We would never do that. Slowly release. So don't do the same with your weightlifting programs. Make time so your body can repair and restore. All right, we're gonna finish with the upper back, which is such a good one. So meet me on your tush. We're gonna take the foam roller to the bottom of the shoulder blade. This time it's running like perpendicular instead of parallel between the shoulder blades. Fingertips behind the ears, or you can give yourself a big hug, whatever's most comfortable. We're gonna press to the heels to lift the booty, and then we start to roll just through the shoulder blades. Chest open towards the sky. Now this could not feel comfortable depending on how tight your shoulders are, but for the most part, this one should just feel pretty good. Like when someone starts to rub your neck, it always feels really good. The next time we're like at the roll where we're towards the bottom of the shoulder blade hold, let the head fall past, reach the arms out long. Just let everything around this roller open up, take up space. Slowly bring the hands back, either under the head or hugging yourself. Lift your head back up. We're going to press to the heels once again. We're going to start to move towards the mid back. So if we're right below the shoulder blade before we hit the low back. So it's not a big movement, it's just small. We just want to hit that mid back, really seeing everything there. Just take a couple more breaths. Keep rocking through that mid back. And then plant your tush. Take that foam roller all the way out and come all the way onto your back. And we're going to target the low back by just hugging the knees into the chest. Make sure the low back stays on the floor and gently rock side to side, massaging that low back. So getting that lumbar spine. Often the low back is what feels the most pain, especially if we hunch over and sitting a lot throughout the day. Can cause our hips to be bad, our knees to get out of alignment, causing some issues. So keep that low back rounded. We're going to reach for the feet. Now, when we reach for the feet, if you notice the low back starts to lift up, all I want you to do is just hold the feet and not do anything else. If your low back stays rounded, keep bringing the feet up until the knees are towards the armpit and the feet are flat with the ceiling, holding it up. If the low back is not grounded, digress by bringing the heels closer to the body until the low back is grounded. And just keep working with your range of motion. But if you're able to hold the feet and the low back is on the earth, then we can find that gentle rock side to side in happy baby. Releasing through the hips and the low back. 3, choose 2, choose 1, and slowly release. Go ahead and bring the bottom of the feet together, everybody. Hug the outside of the feet, interlace the hands, and pull the arches of the feet towards your body. Let the knees flare out wide. Just a nice gentle opening through the hips. Take one more breath here. And then grab hold of the ankles and roll it all the way up to sit. And release. You made it to the end of Restore and Rewind. I hope your body feels a little bit more loose and free and open and relaxed. Especially with heavy weightlifting twice a week, please try to make time to do some kind of restorative deep stretch twice a week so your body's repairing as much as we're putting trauma to it. So until tomorrow, PELWELL family, be well.